Welcome to Eat Sleep Sixers. I am one of your hosts, 215 the Sports Guy. We have 215 the Sports Guy Jr. here. We
Hey,
have
little man.
Say hello, Elijah.
Hello.
We have Jenny from the
215
block.
the sports boy.
There's 215 the Sports Boy.
There
That
we
is
go.
correct. We have B Jizzle for Shizzle who just spoke up.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's
We
up?
got
Tower Heels. Woo,
I know
woo.
this is Sixers podcast, but
Wrong,
if you
wrong
thought I wasn't gonna
podcast.
come on, if you
Wrong-
thought I wasn't gonna come on here repping
wrong-
Jose,
wrong
you're
podcast.
crazy. You're crazy.
Wrong podcast.
Hello.
we have Joselitos. Jennifer from the block.
Jennifer from the block.
Jennifer from the block.
We have an early evening game tonight. Guys, how are you feeling about our matchup tonight? And the possibility of Joel Embiid not playing. We haven't got that confirmed yet.
Breaking news: Joel Embiid is in the starting lineup. It just dropped. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle. I know Joel Embiid said day to day, but I just the official. He started tonight.
And you know what? They were about 3 minutes late putting out the starting lineup. So
I was hitting refresh this whole time.
me too.
This whole
Me and
time
Jim
I
was
hitting
on
refresh.
it. Me and Jim was on it. So I feel like it's a game day decision. How do you guys feel like Joel Embiid pushing it today, playing when he was going to be out? How you guys feel about that?
Well, I didn't even see anything about him being out until like 10 minutes ago. But I think that, he had the whole fourth quarter off. And we need him.
Do we need him?
We do.
Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are listed as out.
Well, they
No,
saw
we
Darius
don't.
Garden.
This
and
would have been the
Casper.
game for Joe to said, you know what, I'm going to chill.
Nah, we
Jared
need him.
Allen and Evan Mobley. But I don't want him to get rest either. Just so y'all know, I don't want him to get rest.
I don't want
He
him to
rested
rest.
during that Pistons game.
I don't want
And
him
the
to
fourth
rest because
quarter.
I don't want to let a game slip away. But I'm not opposed to him resting. So if he don't play, he don't play. But being as though he is playing, we need to smack this team around, get another huge lead, sit them down, and let these bench players play. I don't feel like we can smack this team around, even though we beat Miami. I don't feel like we can smack this team around, like really smack this team around if he don't play. It'll be a tight game. If not, we probably let one go. But since he is playing, they got to replicate, get close to it, somewhere near it, of the same performance they did last game.
I was kind of like pleased, to say the least, with Doc's decision
Like
to
Daddy said.
to play the starters through the third quarter and then solidify that lead yesterday and then give them off for the fourth quarter. That was pretty smooth. I like that idea. Let's do that again.
We got to have a lead to do it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
We
they
gotta-
have to
we
play
gotta
team
have a lead to do
basketball.
it. So it starts in that first, second, and third quarter. If you want to get your rest right now, Joel Embiid, James Harden. If y'all want rest, go out there and kick ass for the first 3 quarters. Excuse my language. God, dog, I forgot we had a kid.
What I'm looking for this evening, this early evening, like Jose mentioned, to replicate the performance from last game. I need to see a full team effort. I need to see a consistent Mr. Tobias. It's been refreshing to watch, man. It's been refreshing to watch him get back in the groove, get back into himself. I want to see James Harden still being the lead facilitator, but I also want to see him take shots when he's open. So it's kind of like it's a tightrope that you have to, tiptoe as a point guard, as a scoring point guard. When to score, that's what Tyrese Maxey was trying to figure out. When to go for your shot, when to go for yours, and when to set up your teammates. I want to see a little bit of both. So I'm looking for that with James Harden tonight. I think we've seen about 2 games where I feel like he's balled out since he's been here. So I want to see him get back into the zone, get back into himself.
Balled out in what sense, though, Carl? Because don't get me wrong. I'm not ultraly impressed with what Harden has done for all of the games. But
Yeah.
when you look at that stat line and you see 16, 11, and 7, that's kind of a ball out to me. It's not James Harden ball out, but it's still good.
I'm speaking about more so efficiency.
Okay, I like that. I like that word. I like that word.
I want to see him make more shots, and not totally rely on getting to the line because a lot of games these refs are going to swallow their whistles.
Those 4 for 13, 4 for 14 type games is unacceptable.
It's
This
unacceptable.
show
that
has been
not
brought to
very
you by
often
the
we agree,
word
but I agree with you on
efficiency.
that.
Well, I think that if you're talking about efficiency, I think yesterday was a good example of him like letting the game come to him and not just a lot, shooting up shots that had no chance going in.
Right.
I hate that. I'd rather see you pass it and get it to somebody who has a good chance of making it than just iso ball and trying to just shoot up stuff. It's not gonna, it doesn't have a good look.
We said before the last game, that I wanted to see how he would respond to Doc's comments, the previous post game, about not liking his performance. You saw the response. He was heavy on the setup, man. Heavy on getting his teammates involved. And I feel like if that's going to be his role here, I'm all for that. But when you are open, nail that 3-point shot.
It's going to take a little bit more than him either slacking off. Because if you're not going to play top-notch James Harden, Matisse better put some points up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just a quick.
I think he had a
update.
really good game yesterday. Go ahead, Matisse. Sorry.
Just a quick update for you guys, man. Boston did win their game earlier. Milwaukee lost their game earlier. Milwaukee lost their game earlier. So we have a chance of jumping Milwaukee with a win. We have to, if we win tonight, we'll be in third place. And also a win, I don't know if you guys know, a win tonight gets us an actual X next to our name, which means we clinch the playoffs.
Right.
So
it's an important
big game tonight. Big game.
Not hugely important, but important enough, that they shouldn't take it lightly.
I love seeing that. Like
X.
At some point, you want to see that X next to your name, and you don't want it to be the last game of the season. I'm ready to see that X next to our name, meaning we clinched. But just wanted to give y'all update that Boston did win. Milwaukee lost. If we win today, we jump third because we tiebreaker against Milwaukee currently.
And not that this has anything to do with anything, but I really enjoyed watching the Nets lose last night. It was very satisfying for me.
I know this is his podcast, but that's what I try to tell people. Yeah, one person can have a great game for the Nets and they still lose. So
55 points. Sorry.
It was good to see Trey hurt somebody else's feelings besides ours.
I know. I never found myself. I couldn't believe I found myself rooting for the Hawks. But I was.
So
all right, well, we already passed the segment, man. What's up? What's y'all keys for the night?
Let's whip it out.
Pause.
We're not doing that.
Pause.
Please,
I just felt as though
look at Jen.
I haven't given you guys a pause moment for a while, so I feel like we haven't said that in about 5 shows. So I said, hey, what the heck? Okay, so my keys to victory tonight is total domination. Total domination from tip. I want us to pass the ball with confidence. No silly turnovers. No silly turnovers. Do not give this team opportunities to score when they're not supposed to. So that's my keys to the game. How about you, Jen?
I'm very weary of giving my keys after what happened last time when I gave my keys and they came true. So I'm going to make sure my keys are positive keys.
Make sure it's the right copy, Jen.
That's right. They need to, 3-point shooting. Last game was very impressive. Let's please keep that up. That was awesome. I want to see a complete replica of the 3-point shooting from yesterday with everybody involved. That's my key to victory. Play like a team.
Cool. Jose.
I want to see them limit the turnovers. Those turnovers that they had, and B had like 3 or 4 of them, like really fast. It was no. Take care of the basketball. I don't care how bad they whooped them. They had like 22 turnovers last game. All right. And if they weren't shooting so good, that could have been an easy loss because of that many turnovers. So,
yes,
that's my keys.
Okay. B Jizzle.
Well, I blame you for making me repeat after Jose, because if you would have called me first, I would have been able to say turnovers I need a low turnover game. I've been preaching this for the last 3 games at least, that every game is a playoff game, and we can't have playoff games. You can't have games where you turn the ball over 20 times, 19 times, 18. Those high
19
numbers are too much.
times.
So
Ridiculous.
I need tonight to be taking care of the ball. No sloppy basketball. Every game from here on out is a playoff game, and we need to treat it as such, in my personal opinion. And because of that, I just want to let y'all know, just because of our conversation, we went from 3 over-unders to 5. I'm letting y'all know that we at 5 over-unders just because of this conversation we having right now.
Okay.
Wait,
Just added them.
five? Oh,
We have 5 different over-unders tonight, so be ready.
I'm ready because I was in the donut club yesterday. I was a donut brother.
And
So-
in a stunning change of events, Carl actually won the over-unders 2 games in a row.
I don't want your applause
Oh,
You don't deserve any
I
applause
don't-
because you're still 10 games under
because
500.
I don't deserve it, Jen. I don't deserve it.
You're
I've
still in
struggled
last
all
place.
season. But
You're still in last place.
I want to answer Mark from YouTube land because we like to address our newer watchers. He's asking the question, what is the reason why the Sixers haven't clinched the playoffs yet?
Easy
And
answer.
for one, we're not leading our division. Boston is by a game. And for two, everything is still close-knit in the Eastern Conference. Everybody's
the
on
East.
top.
Not necessarily Eastern Conference.
Our
Our
division.
division,
Division
our division
is
has
nasty.
4 out of the 5 teams in this playoff race.
Most
Just
definitely.
saying.
Most definitely. And shout out to our division, balling. You know, it hasn't always been that way in our division, you know. So, Smitty, he's saying if Toby keeps playing like this, I'm going to have to apologize to him for calling him Tobias.
No.
Yeah,
So
Sam.
real quick, I wanted to address that real quick. I watched the post game. Sorry, I wasn't here last post game, Jose. But you said we owe the bench an apology. At one point, you said that during the show last. No, we don't.
No, the
We
Oh, they
simply
owe
never
us
said that.
apologies.
I
Damn.
never-
we simply comment on what they do.
I never
that
said we owe
day.
them an apology.
No, you said it. You said, you know what? We ragged on the bench. We kind of owe them an apology because they showed up tonight. I promise you, watch the tape. Not saying you thought we
Got
owed
the
them apology for the
receipts,
season,
those.
but when you said it, I was just like, no, we don't owe them apology. When we were
No, I don't
critical
know
of
about.
them,
I need to see the tape. I don't
Watch the
remember.
tape.
Listen. One game. If you know me, one game is not going to solidify us having to give them an apology. One game is just not going to do it.
and that's what I agree with that statement. When we were critical of them, it was because we had to be. They were terrible. They
I don't
showed
care
up
how
last
good
game and
Korkmaz
hats
plays
off.
one game. I
applause.
ain't giving him no flowers.
Yeah.
Korkmaz was terrible even that day. I don't care what you
No,
say.
he was the worst guy who played yesterday. By the way,
Terrible.
he was the worst guy.
Terrible.
Listen,
Even
and
Beehives carried that ball up there.
this just sparked up this question I'm about to ask y'all because it just hit me. Do you guys think that the drop in the bench's production this year, you know, is due to lack of playing time, or do you think it's just a bad year for all of them?
I think it's lack of playing time. Like,
Playing
come
time.
on, you gotta go back and look at a lot of these games. If you could find them somewhere on demand, go look at these games. We let too many teams, good and bad teams, stay in the game. There's no wiggle room to put bench players in the games are so tight.
Yeah.
We had too many close games. We ain't had that many blowouts.
Yeah.
We've gotten blown out. We haven't got many blowouts on our behalf. It's a lot of close games. So how can you really utilize your bench on that much time and the games are too close? You just can't.
BG, elaborate on that. What do you think is the lack of playing time, or do you think it's just been an off year for all of them?
I'm gonna disagree and say it's the off year for all of them. I mean,
For all of them, BG.
No,
you're
I
in
can't
the
agree with
game. When you're in the game, I expect you to produce point blank. Period. I don't care if I give you 2 minutes. If I give you 22 minutes, you get paid a lot of money to be ready when your number is called. I'm sorry, I can't
true.
say, oh
That's
well,
true.
I didn't have time to get warm. I don't. You get paid millions of dollars to stay warm.
Stay ready.
When you
so
stay
don't
ready,
have to
you ain't
get
got to
ready.
get ready. And that's my opinion about the bench. I think they just having a bad year, and it's not because of playing time. Do I give Doc a pass for anything? No, but I won't put the playing time on it. When you play, if you play 5 minutes, I expect you to be the best 5 minutes of your. And if you play 20 minutes, I expect you to be the best 20 minutes of your day. I can't say, oh, because you only got 5, I'll give you a pass. Nah, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I have that
Like-
attitude with the starters. I can't give that attitude towards the bench. I'm sorry.
I respect
Jen,
it. I respect it.
Jen, what's your comment on that question?
My comment on that question is I don't think they've had enough playing time, and they had become accustomed to their whole like bench unit lineup thing where they had kind of gelled together, and then he went away from that. So whatever. But I do want to talk about, we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we got on the show, Michael Skelton. I don't want Toronto in the first round either. That's who would match up with if we went to the playoffs tomorrow. And it's not that I think that Toronto is that much better of a team. I just think matchup wise, we don't match up well with Toronto.
Okay.
I'm gonna mention something that my stepson said yesterday when I was at a party, and I'm kind of agreeing with him, especially going into the playoffs, because the bench needs hope. They need hope bad. In order for our bench to have that hope, I feel Maxi's gonna have to come off the bench in the playoffs.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my comment short and sweet. The complaint about Doc all last year and the beginning of this year, oh, it's 10-man rotations. He brings 5 guys off the bench and leaves them in there. Doc heard that. Doc went to an 8-man rotation and he stuck to it. Oh, he's not playing the bench.
I thought the Jamaican guy was about to come out.
Yeah.
not maybe post game. Maybe post game. My thing is this. I think Doc, and this may sound crazy towards the end of the season, I still don't think he's figured out this team. I haven't figured out this team. You know, I think he found something in the lineup of Shake, Tobias, Maxey, George Nang, and DJ. They played pretty good together. You know, Tobias did a good job setting up DJ. He was a former Clipper, if you don't remember. So I think he's trying to find the puzzle pieces that fit together, and that's not easy.
Yeah, I like that little two-man game with Tobias and DeAndre.
Look at this in the playoffs, though. Look, if you bring Maxey, Niang, and DeAndre Jordan on the bench, let's say you mix that up with some Tobias, and that'll be our bench, basically. You leave Tobias in there with the bench. With those 3 guys that I just mentioned in the playoffs, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Because if you start Maxey and you gotta rest him, we're screwed.
I feel like they don't rest. I feel like he don't rest Maxey at all. I feel like Maxey played a whole first quarter and half of the second quarter before he come out the game. And sometimes it feels like.
I mean, that's for lack of guards on this team. You know, I feel like Doc likes to have a ball handler in at all times. And when you take Harden off the court, who's going to run the ball? Shake? I feel like he knows Shake's not a point guard at this point.
That's good. Look, if you put Shake in Maxey's place in the playoffs, bro, and you put Maxey in the bench, Shake don't got to run the ball. We already got ball handling Harden.
True indeed.
Hey, guess what time it is?
It
Past
is
the time.
Past the time. We had a great conversation of a segment that we like to call BGs. Over
and now for BGs over and under.
Because we're running late, I'm going to go quick. We have 5 of them. I literally, in the middle of our conversations, I love the conversation we had today, pregame conversation that we had today, and it made me just say, you know what? I want to put a new one down. So initially, my first one was when I thought Embiid was out, I put Harden at 29.5 simply because, okay, look, the big guy's not here, but the big guy is playing. So I switched the names from Harden to Embiid. Embiid currently averages exactly 30 points a game. Does he get his average tonight? So Embiid's number is 29.5 points. What you got for me, Carl?
He's playing, and he's on a mission. The games are dwindling down, and although he's saying that he has championship aspirations, I don't believe for a second he don't want that MVP. So I'm going over. I think he has an Embiid night tonight.
Jen? I'm sorry, Jose.
I'm sorry. I should have waited. But I'm gonna say he goes over for the simple fact that as of this year, he's been playing really, really good against Cleveland. There's even a poster out there. So
I heard
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Do I need to even ask you, Jen? Do I need to ask
Well,
you?
he did me dirty yesterday, but that's only because he got taken out. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. So I'm going over. Ooh-bah.
Son,
I think
take
it's-
my
And
jacket
I'll
off.
take it. If he's under, I don't care. If that means
I
that we won because he's sitting on the bench.
I think it's easy for us all to take the over, so I'm just taking the over. It's not even a question. We liked what we saw out of our $33 million guy last game. I know that much. Does he continue his streak? 20.5 for Tobias. I gave you a high number. It makes it a little tough. So I'm going to Jose first. 20.5 for Tobias.
I'm gonna go out the limb. I really, really, really want to say no, but I'm gonna say over.
I'm gonna take
Jen?
a little insert. Go ahead.
Okay. Why y'all won't let me
Y'all
do my
just-
second? Jen?
I'm sorry.
I'm going under. Sorry, Toby.
Carl.
I'm going to take a little insert from one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Can I get an oh hell yeah?
What?
What?
Can't be
Stone Cold
screaming in that
Steve
mic
Austin.
like that. I didn't hear a word you said.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. You wouldn't understand, brother.
Oh, I
Yes.
would understand.
I'm guessing you taking the over.
I'm taking it over.
That's all you had to say.
I say what I want to say.
20.5 Cleveland.
And
I'm gonna go
Sims
slightly.
agrees.
I'm gonna go slightly under for Tobias. So before Embiid was announced to be playing, they had us as a 4.5 point favorite. So that's the line I'm going with. Sixers win by 4.5. I'll go first and I say over.
I'll
Jose?
say
Wait,
Over.
for
Carl.
you to run your segment.
Carl said over. Jose said over. That's 3 overs for both of y'all. I just want to let y'all know. Jen, what you got? 4.5 points. Sixers win by.
Over.
Yeah, I think we beat this team pretty good.
And don't mess with me again. Because yesterday I could have had the over on the 114.5 when they scored 114.
God, they scored 114. That's why I'm starting to think I might found my niche with these over-unders because my
That's right.
over-unders be real close all the time, man. I'm just saying.
your new name is Vegas. Your new nickname is Vegas.
Hey, Vegas!
Vegas.
One of my favorite viewers, Ant Sims, put up earlier that as long as the bench scores 25, we'll be fine. So when he said that, when I saw that in the comments, Ant, I added another one. The bench, 24.5 points tonight. Carl.
I feel like confidence is gold with young players, man. And I feel like last game gave them a little confidence. So if Doc plays them, over.
That's
four
the
over.
key word right there. If coach plays the amount of players he played last game, we for sure go over. That's the biggest thing. But this is gambling, so I'm gonna go out the limb and say over.
I don't know if Tobias and DeAndre still have that 2-man game chemistry, and he's bringing us 8 points off the bench. We could go over for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And for the first time in a long time, we are all taking the over on the bench scoring.
Oh my
points.
goodness!
can't
Don't let
believe
us
this.
down, bench.
I can't believe this. I'm taking the over as well.
You hear
All
me,
right, so
Danny
last but
Green?
not-
You
last
hear
but
me,
not
Danny
least,
Green?
we haven't had a 5 over under game ever. So this is our first time, but like I said, great conversation pregame. I said this is a playoff game. This is a playoff game. I want the turnovers low. Sixers, 9.5 turnovers. I'll go first, and I'm gonna go under just because I want it to be under. I don't even care what the stats say. That's what I'm going with, under. Jose.
I'm sorry, I cannot go under. I would not agree with you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So notch me down for the over on that.
Say less.
I'm going to have
Jen-
to say
Carl.
under for the simple fact that I said over on all the rest of them. So I got to mix it up a little
Bad
bit.
reason.
Just a little bit.
Terrible.
Just a little
Bad
bit.
reason.
I mean, every time I've went completely over, completely under, I've had horrible nights. So I got to say under. It's okay, Jose.
They're not the best team taking care of the ball, man. I just can't go under.
I know. Jen?
I'm gonna take the over because they had 19 turnovers yesterday, and I don't think you're gonna clean it up
Jesus
that tight
Christ.
one day.
Jesus Christ. 19. Lord.
Lord.
We was bad. So
What do
I'm
you
not
take
saying they're gonna have
OBJ?
that many turnovers, but I know for a fact they're gonna have double-digit turnovers.
Did you already go, BJ?
Yes, I took the under. I started
Okay.
it off and said I took the under. I believe that today has to be every game from here on out has to be looked at as a playoff game, and you can't
20.
win playoff games by turning the ball over. We need a game where we have a 9 turnover game, an 8 turnover game. It's possible. It's possible.
They've done it.
It is.
Sure.
We've done it. We've done it.
Most
Just
definitely.
Not often,
somehow-
but we've done it.
Since a certain player, 2-5 left, our turnovers have definitely decreased. But I think that, I don't know what's up with JoJo lately, but his turnovers have been pretty abysmal.
Up. They've been
Yeah.
through the roof.
He's been a little out of whack as far as turnovers come. Real quick, look on the top right-hand screen, everybody that's watching the show right now, and you will see that we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Snapchat. We depend on y'all word-of-mouth advertisements. So, Jose, what do we expect for people to do every day?
Don't forget to tell an amigo to tell an amigo to tell an amigo. Is that how you say it, BG?
He remixing
That's right.
tonight. He remixing
Is
tonight.
that how you said it, huh?
I tried, man. I
And
tried.
then
You wasn't here, man.
ego. Yeah.
And if you are not watching by now, and if you don't know what times we come on or where we're posted up at, I don't know what rock you're under. We out here. Eat, sleep, Sixers. Jose, for those that didn't understand the first way you said it, could you mix it up?
He mixed them together. He mixed them together. Now you
Don't-
got to do the mixture.
No te olvides a decirle a un friend que le diga a un friend que le diga a un friend. Yeah, let's go.
Wepa!
Go Sixers. Thanks for
Yes.
watching. Come back for post